Did I seriously just start the video without having sound? Oh, great. Okay, I will have to retone the intro then, but yeah, since we already cracked the pack, I think I just need to go on like this. Because it would be kind of weird if I make a cut here, right? And be like, oh, look at it, this is the pack, definitely. You didn't see me open it, but yeah. Anyways, so let's repeat what I said right now. Smell the Charbug. It's what we got as the first common of the evening. It's for 1 red, 1 generic, a 1/3 menace. It has battlefield with 2 energy counters, and when smelling Charbug attacks, we may pay one of those, 1 energy that we have. If we do, another target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and also menace. I was just going on about how this is pretty good also in synergy with the Legionnaire that we got in, I think the very first pack it was. That gives you +1/+0 and haste on a creature. Which, I mean, means for basically no mana investment, you can get a creature +2/+0 and menace and haste, which is pretty neat, right? I mean, the only downside is the Legionnaire does not have to attack, however, this thing has to attack to spread its buff. So I mean, if the enemy really is afraid of the buff, it can get rid of it pretty easily by just blocking it with 2 things with at least 3 total power. So need to be careful with that. Besides that, cool little critter. Was someone here thirsty? Because yeah, someone here was. They drank so many serum visions that yeah, they turned into Serum Visionary, which is a 2 generic. 1 blue, the Dark Wizard. It's a 2/2. And when Serum Visionary enters the battlefield, we draw a card and then scry 2, just like the spell Serum Visions would do. So basically for the extra investment of 2 generic mana, we get a 2/2 body on top of that, which also means it is blinkable. So if you play a blink deck, this might be a pretty cool target for that. I mean, the first card you basically draw blind, but for the second and so on, you have a bit of filtering on top. I guess this is a pretty neat body to play. I'm not sure what I should say about him. I mean, the face is kind of derpy on him. But yeah. Let's see. Pre-criminal notions detected in the 6th predict. Suspect will be confessed when arrested in 2 hours. No, sorry. The suspect will confess when arrested in 2 hours. Which is interesting because Serum Visions was something, like the whole Serum Extract stuff was something you got from Mirrodin, aka New Phyrexia, aka, I don't know. Did it get turned back into Argentum? I'm actually not entirely sure. But yeah, basically the Mirrodin plane. Whereas from the 6th Predict stuff, this is playing on Ravnica. So, kind of interesting that that guy here got juiced up. Oh yeah, alright. That's a pretty neat common. They're basically limited. It was definitely a good filler card for your deck. Sifting card. And here, of course, yeah, I mean, you can play this. In a blink strategy, I guess, would be the best. Or maybe in a wizard strategy where you can use them otherwise as well. Next up on our list is the Eldrazi Repurposer. Looks like the last pick we had yesterday was very spell heavy, like a lot of enchantments, a lot of instants, and also some sorceries. Today it looks like we get a lot of creatures, huh? That's already the 3rd in a row. Anyways, Eldrazi Repurposer. 2 generic, 1 green. Creature Eldrazi Drone. It's a 3/3. Has the void, so has no color. And when we cast this spell, and whenever it dies, create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn with sacrifice this creature at generic. So we're looking basically at a 3 mana, 3/3, bringing a 0/1 into play. Most likely, heck, even if it gets counter, actually brings the 0/1. And if it later on dies, it still leaves behind another 0/1 jump blocker / critter. That's pretty good. I mean, for me, still a 3 mana 3/3 already sounds very solid in my book. And 2 upsides, heck yeah. Once again, this is devoid, so it counts as colorless everywhere except for when you're building your commander deck, because since it has a green mana symbol, that color identity still is green, so keep that in mind. Let's go with the flavor text real quick. I almost admire the ability to avoid waste. Almost. This General Tazri, an allied commander. See, basically he's dismembering a fallen comrade and building something new. Interesting. Also, this is kind of weird because I feel like he should trigger Rava when something dies, like something else, you know, when a non-token Eldrazi dies. I feel like this would be a real repurposer. The non-token Eldrazi would die, that he would do that, but it is how it is, right? It's not bad card. Ah, you got one of those cards that a lot of people were memeing on. This is Gravedigg. One generic, one black, a sorcery. But still kind of a creature, because we get to it in a second. When we play this, we can choose one. Either target player gets a 2/2 black zombie creature token, or we return target creature card from our graveyard to our hand, or can play 2 generic in addition as in Twine cost, and then we get both modes. And if we would do that, this is basically a Gravedigger. That's why I said like it's a meme card. It's not Gravedigger, but it's just Gravedigg. Yeah, in spell form, which is interesting because Gravediggers you can kind of loop if you have 2 of those. You know, sacrifice them for I don't know whatever, and then you know get the other one back. Whereas here you cannot get the spell back with a Gravedigger. So with the Gravedigg. However, you could loop this technically with I mean this is a sorcery, so you would need the what's his name? Anarchist, I think it is. The 5 mana 2/2 that returns a spell to hand. But then again, would you really want to loop something like that? I guess a reanimate spell would be better in general for that. So, I mean, it's neat. Basically, if you need it early on, you have the option for 2 mana to get a 2/2 body. If you later on have basically, I guess that's how you have to see this. Like, it's Gravedigger split in 2. Like, most of the time you will go for the body. Or if you short mana, you will go for just the reanimate. But if you have the normal thing, you will most likely go for the normal Gravedigger mode. So that's that. So neat. Oh, I found actually pretty cool, but didn't get around to playing as of yet. Jolted Awake. 1 white, a sorcery. We choose up to 1 target artifact or creature card in our graveyard. And then we get 2 energy. And we pay, afterwards we may pay any amount of energy equal to that card's mana value. Oh, sorry, no, we don't get to pay any amount. So basically we first select a target and then we can choose to pay up to its mana cost. And if we do that, then we return it directly from the graveyard to the battlefield. It actually is pretty sick. I mean, if you think about it, if you have other energy sources, like for example the Bitey Bug or some of the other stuff that we pull, like the Legionnaire, this can reanimate something for just 1 mana. Pretty sweet deal, honestly. And it can get creatures and artifacts, so can't go wrong really with that. And to even sweeten the deal, there's nothing to reanimate or anything like that. You can still cycle this thing to draw a card for 2 generic. So this is overall a pretty good card. Nice, simple, effective. I'm not entirely sure what the artwork is supposed to be, or is it? Am I? Yeah, it looks like he's curled up there and then he gets zapped back to life. But the weird thing is he doesn't look like he's dead there, you know, it just looks like he's sleeping. So, a bit weird. But okay. I mean, I get it that basically you awaken him with a jolt, but as I said, it looks like he's sleeping and not that he's dead. So, whatever. Next up, another energy card. So we already have 3 energy cards in this pack. Riddlegate Gargoyle. Riddle me this. It's for 1 white, 1 blue, a 2/2 flying artifact creature gargoyle. So already 2 mana, 2/2 flying. Solid enough, I guess. Solid baseline. And on top of that, we get 3 energy when it enters the battlefield. So also pretty good. And whenever we attack, you may pay 2 energy. Okay. When we do that, target creature we control against lifelink. So, first of all, it doesn't have to be him attacking, unlike the Bitey Bug, so that's already pretty good. And we can also give any creature, like for example, if you have a thing that can tap for dealing damage, we can also give that one link and not the attacker, so that could also be interesting. Just need to attack with anything to get the trigger. So yeah, this is pretty versatile. I mean, you can only use it 1.5 times for the effect on default, but hey, it's cheap, down to the ground artifact creature. Can't go wrong with that, really. I mean, it's fine. Pretty fine. Cool rune edge body, I must say. Riddlegate Gargoyle. I wonder where this is supposed to be from. Also the towers in the background, did you see those? Those look interesting. I wonder what plane that is supposed to be. You know, those interesting cutouts there in the shape also. Reminds a bit of some, what's the English word for that? Not a vase, but gourd? Is that a gourd where you pour the drinks from? So those glass, it's not a glass gourd, but you know what I mean, there are those glass vases sort of thing where you can, usually where you fill in wine, the shape kind of reminds me of that. Pretty neat. And looks like it also has a little stone halo, also interesting. Maybe it wanted to be an angel and put out a gargoyle instead. And we got another one of those landscapes. Last time we had the red, blue, green one. Now we have Tranquil Landscape. That is the green, white, blue one. So this is a land, and it's untapped. We can tap it to add a colorless mana. Or we can tap it, sacrifice it, and search our library for basic forest, basic plains, or basic island card and put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Or, yeah, even more ors. Late game, we can pay 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue. This card is from my hand and draw a card by cycling. So this is also a card that's pretty neat. Like early on, you just get the mana, or if you don't really need that many lands, you can, or basically if you need a specific color rather, you can fix yourself with this. Or yeah, if you're flooded, you can toss this away. This is pretty good. Pretty neat little common land. I like it. Definitely can fit into 1 or 2 of my decks. Hello there. Another Eldrazi, another green Eldrazi. Oh, sorry, another colorless Eldrazi, costing green mana. So, green color identity, but yeah, it is officially colorless. This is the Propagator Drone. 1 generic, 1 green, a 2/2 with the Void. Sorry, 2 mana 2/2. I mean, not as great as our Gargoyle, which is 2 mana 2/2 flying, but hey, it's alright. Let's see what the upsides are. Creature tokens we control have Evolve. That's interesting. For those that don't know Evolve, those tokens basically now have, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, and if it has greater power or toughness than this token, we put a +1/+1 counter on this token. And they also see this creature enter. So, which is especially interesting because, yes, we saw here with the Eldrazi spawns. If you already have any amount of Eldrazi spawns, those immediately grow to 1/2s. Just casting this guy. So heck yeah. And for 3 generic and 1 green, we also can create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token with, yeah, the usual sacrifice this, get a colorless. Yada yada yada. You know the drill. So overall, this is also a pretty good card. I mean, late game, you can just make more mana / jump blockers. And even can boost your board. I like it. That's what I meant. Like, I'm fine with Eldrazi in general. I was ranting basically in, I think, the second video about Eldrazi, but you know, I'm just not liking the concept of those giant Eldrazi. I like the menace of the swarm and their twistedness and stuff like that, and yeah, all the stuff they can do. But I just don't like the big annihilator / mean Eldrazi, if that makes sense. Oh, and another Eldrazi. It that heralds the end, and despite that name, it is not a legendary. It is for 1 generic, 1 colorless, a creature Eldrazi drone. Similar to the last one, it's also 2/2. And also it's kind of like a lord, just like the last one as well. Colorless spells we cast with mana value 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast. That's alright. I mean, you can also use it in artifact decks, especially in Commander, where you play a deck with expensive artifacts. And also other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. I mean, of course, this is supposed to be a lord for Eldrazi spawn or the void creatures. But if you have something like a Muir deck that does not make the new Blue Phyrexian Muir, I believe it is. Some of the cards make, but the classic Muir tokens or Topter tokens, you know, stuff like that, servos, then you can also play this thing. I mean, yes, it itself is not an artifact, but it makes your artifacts cheaper. I'm actually thinking about putting it in my Breya deck, as stupid as it sounds, because it can do a lot of stuff there. Of shenanigans. First, we ignored the little ones. By the time we realized our error, it was too late. General Tarzi. Allied Commander. Once again, Artazi. Yeah, I wonder if you can... I don't think you can make a nice Swarm deck in Modern with this stuff. I mean, it's just too weak and too flimsy. Despite, I mean, those guys feel like you should be able to make something, but I guess they're just too weak for it. Maybe I can make a casual deck out of that, though. Like mono green or green blue, maybe, Eldrazi? You know, just something fancy. Not with any of the big ones, but just with the small ones and poop out little ones and have a lot of fun. I really like the head shape of this one. Also, I think this is... Is that the same shape as It That Betrays? Might be, but I'm not entirely sure right now. Pretty cool looking though. Ooh, we got another interesting spell. This is Rush of Inspiration. One generic. Hybrid is it mana? Then another hybrid is it mana. So either blue or red for playing this. It's an instant. I think I already said that. We draw 2 cards. And then we discard a card at random. That's the big downside, at random. Unless we pay 2 energy. So in a non-energy deck, this is not that great, but it can be a quick... basically draw 2 cards for 3 mana instant. I mean, it's... the problem is, I think that we just got the 3 mana instant to draw 2 cards in Eldraine. Sort the ingredients or something like that it was, I think, for 2 generic and 1 blue. Something like Sort the ingredients. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but something along the lines of that. I mean, the upside here being that we come to in a second. I can also play this one. It can also play as the other side, which is a land that enters the battlefield tapped and can either add blue or red. So this is the upside compared to the other spell, which of course always is just a card draw, whereas this one you can also in a pinch put it in as a land, the Crackling Falls that is. But let's see. Let's go over the flavor text. Inside is like a waterfall, near limitless power, but only if properly harnessed, says Sahili Riley. Yep. And we have the falls. In the wilds beyond Girapur, raw magical energy permeates the landscape. Yeah. I like those mountains there in the distance. It's pretty neat. There's another one of those, I think they're officially called MDFC lands, or officially. Modal double face something cards lands. Yeah, one lands of that. Neat. I mean, as an in an energy deck, maybe you can play this, but I feel most of the time you don't want this to, because it still has tap. But I mean, it is color fixing, so I wonder if I would want to play this one. I'm not entirely sure. And here we have our card from one of the commander sets. This is the Reef Worm. 3 generic, 1 blue. Creature Worm. It's a 0/1. And you would be like, wait, 4 mana, 0/1, who wants to play that? Well, let me tell you. Because when this thing dies, it creates a 3/3 blue fish creature token with the following ability. When this creature dies, create a 6/6 blue whale creature token with the ability. When this creature dies, create a 9/9 blue kraken creature token. So basically, worm gets eaten by fish, gets eaten by whale, gets eaten by kraken. So unless the enemy has an exile or a bounce, this thing has to be killed 4 times to be completely gone. And that is pretty good. So basically you have to think like it can jump block as a 0/1, then it turns into a 3/3 attacker, and if that one gets traded with, then you have a 6/6 as blocker / attacker, and yeah, then it already gets tricky for your opponent. Do they want to give you a 9/9? Yeah. I mean, it's not a super powerhouse card, but limited this can definitely be trouble for the enemy unless they have a bounce or a tap down or an exile. And mind you, not bouncing the worm, but bouncing the fish. Like, you don't want to bounce the worm normally, you want to bounce the fish. Oh yeah. Ooh, we get the fancy Arena of Glory, look at that. In the stretch artwork. Already had one of those, but now I have a second one, so I definitely want to put those into decks. Arena of Glory enters the battlefield tapped unless we control a mountain. Doesn't matter if a basic mountain or not, just any mountain. And that's a red. And we can pay 1 red and tap this and exert it so that it will not untap. Like exert means it does not untap for another turn, or the next time it would be untapped. So similar to a stun counter, because it's not actually marked for counter, so no proliferate shenanigans. Anyways, back to it. So if we exert it, we can add 2 red. If that mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains haste. And mind you don't need to pay both reds on the same creature, so you can use this to 2 different creatures if I'm totally aware. You will need to look that up. Quickly see, like, I don't think you have to use both of those. Give me a second. Nope, you don't want to see that yet. Doesn't have to be both mana, I'm pretty certain. Each of those spells will gain haste. Yeah, okay, so if you split it, then of course you get it. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not saying crap here. Yeah. Pretty cool. This is... I think that is on Amonkhet, right? Yeah, that's the Red Goddess, which name right now slips my mind. I think something with H8. So it's not half 4. So that is a actually Egyptian goddess, but something like it's a red. Editor me just fixed the name in there. Yeah, pretty cool. Like it. Oh, and you also get another blast from the past. Here's our foil. There's an homage. It's not Eldrazi, so this is a very Eldrazi heavy pack. Jesus. This is an homage to a card from, if it was Mercadian Masks or Nemesis. Or to 2. I believe it was Masks itself. It's a 4 mana. The original was basically 4 mana 6/6, and when it enters the battlefield, everybody else gets to put a creature from their hand into play. Whereas this one is actually a slightly buffed version, so this is for 3 generic, 1 green. It has the void, so it has no color. It's a 6/6 with trample, Eldrazi Beast. So again, 4 mana 6/6, pretty good. And when we cast this spell, if there was no colorless mana used to cast it, then target opponent, not all, but target opponent, may put a creature card from their hand into the battlefield. So I mean, in Commander, this could also be used as a diplomatic thing, like, hey, if I don't do this, will you, you can get something into play, like if you can help a player who's currently behind, like Mana Screw or something like that. Of course, it can also bite your ass. You be careful. But yeah, this is a pretty gorgeous artwork. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I think the Wumpus was more like an elephant beast kind of deal, whereas this one, yeah, I think this artwork is still very similar. Oh, I just noticed. That's part of the main artwork. Look at that. Like, I was so mesmerized by those roots down here. This looks pretty gorgeous actually on the foil here. You guys can see that, like, those branching roots. I mean, I think that's just parts of the artwork bleeding through the colorless text box. But this looks really cool. They're pretty sick. Those branches, almost as if the roots are penetrating the text box. I mean, which is kind of the joke, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's go with the flavor text. All who behold its twisted form are consumed by a single mind obsession. Destroy it. Alright, man, chill. That's pretty neat. Sure, I mean, if we really built a monocolored deck there, I might actually put that in there, just for the heck of it. Oh, we got a second foil. The gorgeous swamp there. Taking a look at in episode 0. Yeah, look at that. Really like how you have those 3 parts of the artwork, like the, especially the foil that comes out nice. Like you have the foreground trash there, then we have the barren land in the middle, some hilltop. And in the far distance, we have the giant Emrakul looming over the scene. Really cool. And nope, it wasn't actually a this card after all. It was just a placeholder card. Oh, another pretty neat pack. Actually, funny enough that it's our 3rd red rare. Oh, it's not direct rare, it's a land that makes red, but you know what I mean. Like, we had our first one was the wheel, the energy wheel. Then we had the Phoenix. I don't remember what we had yesterday. The Astrid enchantment, or Astrid, and right, the orb, the winter orb. Not the winter orb, sorry, the winter moon. So kinda red-ish effect-wise, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, these rares, man. Interesting. So this is also, as I said, a very Eldrazi heavy pack with also some energy mixed in. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 energy cards, 4 Eldrazi cards. Yeah, yeah. That's about the stuff. I mean, this is also not a bad pack. I mean, in sealed or draft, I think you can definitely do some stuff with this. I mean, sealed, the reform is pretty strong. Reanimate, if you have an energy deck, can be pretty good. The back is definitely good. And if you can go into Surpronings, I mean Spawn, this can also be pretty neat. So I don't know, pretty cool. Anyways, enough of me rambling. Hope you had some fun. Please let me know in the comments what your favorite card is. I will put mine in the end card right in a moment. And yeah, hope you catch you all for pack number 5. Stay safe. Play for your place. Signing out of here. Bye.